final shakedown run on this car we've just finished, and it's a pretty cool one. This is a project that was started by a friend of ours, and life got in the way. He wasn't able to finish it, and we had the honor of being able to finish it up for him. It's usually not something we would do, finish a half-done project, but because it's a friend of ours, we thought we'd take it on, and it's a pretty cool car. So thought I'd give you a little drive around, show you around, and maybe let's go in the daylight and I'll show you the details of it. It's pretty neat. Hey, this is Philip from Steve's Motor Co, and we're back with yet another VTEC build. Actually, not quite a VTEC build, a Honda engined Mini build, but a little bit more into that later. This is our good friend Jonathan's car. We've known Jonathan for a long time, and he actually had this Mini before I had my Mini way back when, and I remember seeing it for the first time and I thought, oh, this is such a cool Mini. This is like the first really cool Mini that I've seen, especially locally. And it had this really awesome Japanese vibe. It has these really cool wheels on it, and I remember seeing this car and going, oh, like that's so cool. And lucky enough for us, we have been able to finish it off for him. So what happened is he had the Mini for a while. It had a fuel-injected 1275 SPI engine in it, and then it started to make some weird noises in the transmission, and he figured now's the time, if he is going to do a swap, to do a swap. And right around that time is when the first of the McGee kits started coming out. So he put his name down and was on the pre-order actually for the McGee subframes. And so he got a subframe. He was one of the first people, I believe, in Canada to have the subframe, and he started on the conversion. Funny enough, he also had a base model EG Civic as his daily driver while he had the Mini. So he figured, perfect, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the engine out of the Civic and the transmission and all the components and put it into the Mini. And sure enough, he started off, got everything out, got the subframe in, got the engine mounted, and then life got in the way. And years later, we're in the position that we're in now, and we were able to finish it off for him. So we're really stoked on it. He's coming to pick it up tomorrow, and I can't wait for him to try it out. But let's give a little walk around in the car. It's a pretty cool car. It's got a neat color scheme to it. It's a special edition. I'm not exactly sure what the name is. If you know what the name of the special edition is, put it in the comments below. It's got a really cool interior we'll check out later. It's got, again, like I showed you, told earlier, it's got these really cool Japanese wheels on it. Work wheels, I believe. And yeah, it's just got a cool stance, got a cool look. We did a couple small things to the exterior while we had it out. We put some new window seals in it and just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. But basically, this is how it's looked forever. But the drivetrain is different. Let me pop the hood and show you what that looks like. Here is our Honda engine. It is not a VTEC. We keep saying VTEC builds, but this one is actually a non-VTEC base model engine. But believe it or not, you know, even with the base model Honda engine in the Mini, it's still super fast. I mean, it's probably 2 or 3 times the horsepower of the engine that came out of there. And this one's cool because it is a lot of the older parts from his car that he had before, his daily. It sort of matches the patina of the exterior of the car, and it almost looks like it's been in there for a long time, which I really dig. It's clean, it's tidy. We did a really thorough job of trying to keep everything looking like it was meant to be there, sort of. So we do have the engine. We've got, this is one of the older manifolds that the McGee kits used to come with, same thing with the header. And then you'll see we've got boosted brakes. He wanted to keep his boosted brakes, so we had to do a little whoop-de-doo with the intake here, and the air intake filter is mounted up under here. But the brakes work well. It's nice to have boosted brakes on one of these with the amount of power that it has. A couple modifications we did do. You can see that the radiator here, we welded this up here. This just allows a little bit cleaner placement for the hoses, again, to try to make it look like it was meant to be in there. And then, yeah, a few other things. The alternator's mounted up underneath the fender here. Pretty simple, conventional. If you've seen the other D-Series builds we've done, a lot of that is very similar to this. One thing that we didn't do with this car is the complete wiring. We used a brand new harness for the engine side of things, and then because the wiring in this car was actually really nice and tidy, and it didn't have any kind of splices or didn't have any problems, we decided let's just keep it. It works. This is also one of the later cars that has the multi-pin fuses here, proper blade type, rather than the little 4 fuses that you get on the earlier cars. So it is properly fused, and it sort of works better. But yeah, it's pretty much it for the engine. It's a really cool package. It drives nice. It feels like a Mini with 3 times the horsepower. One of the kind of funny things though that Jonathan asked for, which again we thought was awesome, is like, I've had this Civic for years and years. It's always been bulletproof. It's a Honda, never gonna break. Why do I need to know what's going on with it? Why do I need to know gauges? Why do I need to know the speed? Why do I need to know the oil pressure? It's a Honda, it works. So he said that when he gets in the car, what he wants to do is just drive, and he doesn't want to think about, you know, watching all the gauges on the dash, and he'd like a little bit more storage space. So we did something kind of cool. We wouldn't do for most customers, but because it's a friend of ours, we thought it would be pretty neat. And let me show you the dash that we set up here. As you can see, there is no dash. He wanted no gauges whatsoever, so that's what we've got. We incorporated the engine harness into the factory Mini harness, and we actually used the multi-pin connector that's located on the top left corner here, spliced into that, and added I believe it was a 12-pin Deutsch connector, and from there we brought it in through the harness here into the interior of the car. And from sitting here, you can't even tell that it's Honda swapped, and you can't even really tell how it works. We've got the ECU mounted right here up underneath the parcel shelf, and it kind of acts as a bit of a shelf actually for putting things in. He says that when he gets the car back, he's going to figure out some sort of dash. He wants to have it completely open with maybe some carpet on the back here just to make a big shelf, and then he's going to have one light in the middle of it, and that light will be for when you're low on fuel, and that's all you need to know when it's time to go get gas. And other than that, just drive it, you know. So I think that's pretty cool. It's a neat concept, and honestly, it's funny enough because when you do drive around the car, you realize once you're in a car like this how often you instinctually look at the gauges, and when they're not there, all of a sudden you can just pay attention to the things that are they're outside and around you, which is it's pretty cool. Yeah, so other than that, from the interior, I mean, it's pretty much stock as it came. Like I said, it's got this cool interior here. Again, if you know what special edition this is, let us know. So inside here, it's pretty much stock, other than this Moto-Lita steering wheel, which he had on here already, which really matches the car. The only thing that we did for the interior was add the shifter. Normally we used Honda shifters in the D-Series swaps, and we cut and chop them up. But recently we've switched to this shifter, which is actually a aftermarket shifter designed for an E30 BMW. But with some modification, it can actually be fit into the Mini, and it's got a really nice monoball on the bottom, so it's got great shift feel, really smooth, super direct, and we really like these. So this is kind of the only thing that would give it away as being not a factory Mini on the inside, which is really cool.